All right, we're gonna try take 2 of this because I filmed this entire recipe video and then went to go look at it and my mic wasn't working. So hopefully my mic works now. Or there's not gonna be video up today. But I already made and did the whole video. I made these gingerbread chocolate brownies. These are gonna go into the oven while we make this recipe. So we're gonna make it again because I really want you guys to have this recipe that I'm gonna have so much brownies that I'm not gonna know what to do with. So I'm gonna set this aside for just a minute. Those are the ones that are ready to go in the oven. I don't wanna turn my oven on just yet because then it'll be loud. You guys won't be able to hear me. And I hope this is recording. All right, so let's get into the recipe. So these are for chocolate gingerbread whole food plant-based brownies. And I need 2 bowls. I have a dry that I'm going to mix up and a wet, and then we're going to combine them. I have a 9-inch silicone pan. I'm going to post a picture of what the brownies look inside of it. It is the best silicone pan I found. I have bought it on Amazon. We have an Amazon shop now where if you ever wonder like what pans we use, appliances, miso, all of that is in the description box below. Get that pan. It's not expensive. We have multiple of them. It makes the perfect brownies. If you're not going to use my pan, of course, line it with parchment paper because we don't use any cooking spray oils or anything like that. But I'm a pro fan of silicone in right now. All right, I just keep checking the mic to make sure it's working. So our ingredients, everything will be down in the description box below. The main ingredient in this is blackstrap molasses. You can find this in most stores. I get the unsulfured blackstrap molasses. It's a good source of calcium, potassium, and iron, and it's going to be one of our sweeteners for today's recipe. So it also has that gingerbread taste. So if you are somebody who's interested in getting more blackstrap molasses into your diet or want to try it, this is a great introduction to it. We use half a cup of blackstrap molasses for this. I also have 1 cup of applesauce. I just buy these unsweetened applesauces in the little individual packets. Around 2 of these is almost a cup, which works. If I buy a big thing of applesauce, it goes bad very quickly because mainly I only use applesauce when I bake. So this makes, I know it's like more plastic, but in the long run, I was throwing out a lot of stuff where this lasts a long time. 2 cups of oat flour that I just pulsed up, rolled oats in my high-speed blender to make oat flour. This also works with, you can play around with other types of flour. I just really like it with oat flour. 2 tablespoons of ground flax meal, that right there. 1/4 cup of cocoa or cacao powder. I like cocoa powder. You could use cacao, whatever you want. You could also leave this out and just make them gingerbread brownies and not chocolate gingerbread brownies. It's up to you. 1/4 cup of an unsweetened non-dairy milk. And then this is the part that you really want to pay attention and not mess up. This is 3½ teaspoons of baking powder and half of a teaspoon of baking soda, okay, to make sure it rises correctly. 1/2 tablespoon of ground ginger and 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and then half a cup of dark chocolate chips. Now, when you go to the grocery store, you're not going to find any chocolate chips that don't have a bunch of crap in them. Most of them have, you know, sweeteners added or something else. I found this, I got a recommendation from a friend, and I found these 100% pure, unsweetened organic chocolates that are just, you know, 1 ingredient. And so they're a little bit more pricey than if you went to the grocery store. I got a 3-pound bag to last me probably for the rest of this year and next year. I really only use this when I bake, and you know, just sometimes you could also leave these out. But I'll put a link to this below if you're interested. Totally optional. You can also try to find some stuff in the store, but that's what I feel comfortable using in our recipe. All right, so we're gonna put all this together and make brownies. So you need 2 bowls. We're gonna mix all of our dry ingredients. I'm gonna put that in here. Oat flour. Check to see the mic still recording. Can't believe I did this whole video already and it's all done. So in went the ginger and cinnamon, the flax seed, the cacao or cocoa powder, and your baking soda and baking powder. All right, give that a quick little like toss while combined it. And then we're going to move on to the wet, and then we're going to put the wet into the dry. It's really simple. While you're doing this, you can preheat your oven to 350 degrees. These brownies only take half an hour, but depending on your oven, like everyone's is different, just do the toothpick test to make sure it's done. Yours might be a little bit longer or a little bit shorter. Mine work in the Breville 350 at half an hour every time. So, but your oven might be different. In the other bowl, put the blackstrap molasses. It's thick and gooey, but I've learned to really like the taste of molasses. It wasn't something at the beginning I was really a fan of, you know, besides in making gingerbread cookies or something like that. But it has really grown on me, and it has so much iron and calcium that it's a great go-to for all of us that are just doing plans. I'm going to put in our applesauce, and that's 2 of these little containers. They don't have the sizes on them, but it's around 1 cup. Sometimes I like to leave these for like if we ever have like our friends over with that have kids or something like that, but then they're great to have for when you bake. And so you can see that we're not using any eggs or anything like that in here. The applesauce will help make your brownies nice and moist. And the flaxseed and the applesauce kind of act as your egg for this recipe. In goes that non-dairy milk. You can give that a nice mix. This will make it really easy to pour your wet into your dry. That unsweetened almond or whatever non-dairy milk, I used almond milk, really helps in the applesauce to make that blackstrap molasses not as gooey. All right. And when you are mixing this, you just want to make sure all the flour is gone. So you'll see when you start doing this that at the bottom of it that there's some flour stickage. Just, you know, keep folding it until you can't see any flour, and that's how you know it's done. You can also use like a hand mixer for this. Go ahead and add in your wet to your dry. I just kind of scrape down. Make sure. And then the applesauce and the blackstrap molasses are the only things that are sweetening this. So if you make this and you think like, oh, it's not as sweet as I'd like, you could add some date sugar or date paste to this to make it a little bit sweeter. But I find that it's delicious and it doesn't need anything. I think it's sweet enough. All right, so go ahead and well combine and just use a spatula for this. Works pretty well. And like I said, you just want to get all of that oat flour to not be shown. It should only take a couple minutes to mix, and then you can fold in your dark chocolate chips if you chose to use them. You could also leave it out. Sometimes they leave it out. Sometimes they put them on top. Just kind of depends. You could put them inside and on top. Whatever you're in the mood for. You also can leave a little bit of, have a little bit of that cocoa powder on the side. I'm going to show you guys how I do a little dusting of it instead of powdered sugar, which is beautiful, and you know, you're not getting any of that extra sugar into your dish, but it still gives that dusting appearance. All right, so I'm just pulling from the side at the bottom. Like I said, it'll stick. You just really want to make sure you get that bottom part scraped. No oat flour to be seen. All right, so it's done. Batter's done. Now, imagine I put it into this pan, spread it out evenly, and now it's ready to go. So I'm going to go bake this. I'll see you guys in a half an hour. Pull this out and show you what it looks like. But it's a really simple recipe. I've actually made it twice within the last, I don't know, half an hour. So it doesn't take very long. I had all of the ingredients in my house, which is fantastic. You love a recipe like that. And had enough. I probably could do it a third time, hoping I don't have to though. But I'm going to be set on brownies in this household. I just flipped this from that silicone pan. I let it cool for 20 minutes before you do it, and it came out beautifully. This is why I love these pans. It came apart so nice. I just put it on parchment paper. It's still cool to touch, so I let it sit for 20 to 30 minutes before you remove it, and it is so good. So I made a batch last night, and I have some today, so I'm going to have enough to take to a friend's house and extra to eat through the weekend. I also, what did you think I did with the extra batter? Well, I have so many brownies that I didn't want to make more brownies, that I put it into a loaf pan to see if you could make it into like a bread, quick bread form, and it worked. So not only can you make these the same recipe into brownies, you can put it into a loaf pan and it'll come out beautifully. So that's going to beep in 2 minutes. So I'm going to try to speed up talking a little bit. But what I like to do now is I like to let it cool. I'm going to cut it into little squares like I did, and then dusting. You do not need powdered sugar to make stuff look pretty. What I like to dust mine with, and to give it that extra holiday spirit, is I like to add a little bit of cocoa powder to a sifter, and then just kind of like same thing you would do with like powdered sugar, just use cocoa powder. And it's beautiful. It looks so nice. It's like that nice light brown compared to this dark brown of the brownies. Contrast is really nice. So I'm going to cut these up, put them in here, dust everything for you and show you. And it's great. The loaf is going to come out in a minute. And it all worked. So there's so many different variations. This is kind of a milder gingerbread chocolate brownie. I tend to go on the safe side when I'm serving this to guests and different things. If you like a bold gingery taste, I will put in the description box like a couple different variations you can do to really make that gingerbread come out. I really like this. I think it's really nice and safe to take to family and friends, but I will put that in the description box. There's a couple tweaks you can do with the molasses, and there's a tweak that you can do with your ginger, and it'll give it a stronger taste. So that's pretty much it. This recipe is super versatile, that you can make brownies, you can make bread with it, and yeah, I'm really excited to take this out tonight. Let me grab the bread, cut this, dust it. I'll show you guys up close. This is why I needed to make more, is because I was taking from the friend pile last night. These are delicious, and I just brushed my teeth, so I'm not going to have one on camera, but I promise you they're like that. They're totally brownie, chocolate, gingery, just overall such a great winter treat. And like, you don't have to feel bad about it, because literally your bulk of your calories are from molasses, applesauce, and oats. And, like the sugar in it is from applesauce and molasses. So like, this is a treat that you could literally have every night and still be compliant and hopefully plant-based and everything else. What I like to do is, people always ask me like, how do you make this sustainable? Literally at 7 o'clock after we have dinner, I'll come in and I'll make cobbler for the week. I'll make something like this, different tweaks that you can do, and I'll enjoy, 2 brownies while we watch a movie or something. So you can still indulge, just do it in a healthful way, and I love it. You're getting calcium, you're getting iron. Like, who doesn't love a brownie that gives you calcium and iron and still tastes good, right? So I'm going to go grab the quick bread, show you what that looks like, cut this, and we're in business. But I'm so excited for you guys to make this. This one is a family favorite for sure. The loaf just came out of the oven, so I'm going to let that cool. I put some chocolate chips on top. They're all gooey and melty and beautiful, but looks great. Again, make sure you do the toothpick test so that you can make sure that yours looks good. So for the brownies, just like regular brownies, you can make them as big or small as you'd like. But like, come on. And who doesn't love a corner piece of a brownie, right? All right, so I just love those pans. Again, they'll be in our Amazon shop down below. I have 2 of them. We have loaf pans. To be honest, I'm in a pan obsession. I actually just Amazon came while I was filming, and I got a new one to try. So I'll also link this one below. This is like a mini loaf pan, and so you can make individual ones, which is great because I like to freeze different things and then pull them out, but these are like individual sized. There's like 6 of them, so I'll link this down below, but I'm always looking for fun stuff. We have a donut one, we have cupcake ones, just great. So just go ahead and cut them to the brownie shape that you desire. They come out so good. So like, it's just like a brownie, right? I am loving this. So I'm gonna put, not all of, just this is going. This is staying for me, so not everything will be shared. All right, all right, that looks good, not too crowded. Maybe one more. All right, so now this gets to be mine, and this goes to our holiday party. So what I like to do, and you know, doing this on a tray works great because then you can dust all of them, or doing it before you cut them. But I have some of the cocoa powder I used. It's unsweetened, just cocoa powder. And I use like a little mini mesh strainer. I just put a little bit in, like a little bit. And then I just like to dust just like you would powdered sugar. Kind of get some more in there. All right. Be careful that you don't do this directly over because it will kind of clump, but I just like to do a quick little dusting of cocoa powder. Makes it all look so beautiful. You can even do it on the one that I'm going to enjoy. I can make it look pretty too, right? So beautiful. You don't need powdered sugar, right, to make stuff look pretty. So try it. It's a little hack. I don't know. You guys probably already know about it, but that's what we've been doing. A little bit more. So it's wonderful. All right. So this looks good. My brownies are ready to go. So excited. And I hope you guys make this. So I will, of course, show you guys pictures up close. I'll show you when the loaf pan cools and comes out on the screen. If you guys make this, make sure you tag us. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel. We're really close to getting to 20,000 subscribers. And it would just be so amazing to get there. I don't know if we're going to get there before Christmas, but it would be amazing to get there before the new year. So I just want to thank you guys so much for all your support. All of the measurements for this recipe will be linked in the description box below. Give this video a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and let us know how much you loved it. I hope you make our, I don't know what to call these. Maybe they'll be like chocolate gingerbread brownies. Fudgy chocolate gingerbread brownies. I don't know. I'm going to play around with the name of it. But I will see you guys very soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.